Hi, my name is Konstantin Magnus. In this Houdini tutorial, we are going to fake an X-ray image from a bunch of VDBs. So this is the input mesh. These are the muscles, these are the bones. We're going to convert it into VDBs and then create this two-dimensional volume, which is being read into COPs. Let's start from scratch with a test geometry. The KP bara has three different outputs. We're going to use the skin surface, then copy that node, dragging Alt and left mouse button and set it to muscle. And then we're going to drag it and call it bones. So bones, muscles, and skin. And we are going to convert it using VDB from polygons. So let's set the resolution to 0.01 and switch it to FOC VDB. And then we'll just drag and copy this. The second input would be the reference to the first VDB node. And then we just connect it to the muscles. Let's repeat that. So now we have three volumes. One for the skin, one for the muscles, and one for the bones. To see it a bit better, I hit D and switch my background to dark. And now I would like to combine these using the VDB combine. And we can just mix two at a time. So I choose a mode like add, and I weight the first input a little bit lighter, so I want 20% of the skin and flesh and maybe just 0.5 for the muscles. Now let's drag it over and mix it to the other two, to the second and third. And we would just say, I want to add them one by one, and we can still play around with the amount. We can see it best by using a volume slice. And if the colorization is too aggressive, you would just switch it to no mapping, and then you can still see what kind of effect you get when you dial down, let's say, the bones versus the muscles and flesh. I set it to maybe 0.7, and in case this image is too low resolution for what you're trying to do, you can now quickly change the voxel size on the first VDB node, and it will be chained all the way through these nodes. If the image is still a bit too clean or too sharp, we could also add a blur. That's just an option. So there's a special node for that. It's called VDB Smooth. And this would give a bunch of iterations over the neighbor voxels. 2 or 4 iterations blurs it out a bit. And there's also a noise, especially for fog, volume noise fog. And there you could add a bit of noise. 0.1 as an amplitude would be sufficient, and you would reduce the element size if you want a bit of cloudy or noisy, just something that makes the image less perfect. Now usually you would want this volume as an image. At the moment the volume slice is set to a mesh, so this is constructed of polygons and points. And when we switch it to a volume, what we get is a two-dimensional volume, which can then be read into a COP network. So inside a COP network, we can use the SOP import and refer to the out node. If you switch to the composite view, you will see that image is slightly distorted, so just hit set resolution and set planes from SOP. You can scroll in to see it as a higher resolution. If you find this to be too low res, you could go back and just increase the VDB resolution to 0.001, which is quite large. But once you're through, you should see a high resolution image in your context. In case this doesn't, you would just dive inside and click on set resolution and set planes, and now we have a full resolution image. At the moment, the channel name is set to density because this is what the volumes were called, but we can use a channel copy node to bring them over to a new plane called capital C, which contains R, G, and B for red, green, and blue. Now you can either append a null node called out to reference to, or you would just right click on the image and say save frame and choose a file format and a location on your hard disk. There are also ROP file outputs in case you need automated outputs to some location along several frames. Thank you for watching.